And I've heard that in Hinduism you can find yourself also through meditation. And together with the values you've talked about, if more people would take this path, then the peace in the world would be much greater and there would be less war and everything would be much more peaceful. And people believe in science. So why don't you use the track of science to prove that these values and that these ways are working?
That's brilliant.
Thank you.
Science and technology are potentially for great benefit of humanity and all beings, or potentially they could be for great devastation. It depends on the character and the hearts of the people who use it. I'll give a simple example. A knife. One person who has that knife will kill someone, cut their throat, and take everything they have away from them. So when the knife is in the hands of a thief, it's destructive. But the same exact knife, if it's in the hands of a surgeon, it will save a person's life with compassion. So is the knife good or bad? The knife is as bad as the person who holds it or as good as the person who holds it. And that's the way everything in this world is. Knowledge, fame, strength, and science and technology are a tremendous strength. But we could use that science and technology out of greed, and we can actually pollute the environment and cause so much suffering to so many living beings, including humanity, through our science and technology. Or we could use it to create great health and prosperity and enlightenment, as you're saying. So science and technology, especially when it is harmonized with these universal spiritual principles and character, can have such great value within the world. And the students who are going to universities and learning technology and learning science, the destiny of the world is very much in all of your hands. And it's going to be determined by the values and the character and the spirit of compassion that you've actually imbibed within your hearts. Whether we want to be a part of the problem or a part of a wonderful, holistic solution. So the practices of meditation, the practices of chanting God's names or mantras, puja, seva, these are all ways of reconnecting to that deep, enlightened state that is within us, that is our true potential. And there have been many medical, scientific research of how meditation actually affects, in a very positive way, the brain, the cells of the body. Even there was a great, very detailed about this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, how it affects in such a positive way the cells and the brain and the whole way we think, in a very positive way. So science is beautiful if we are beautiful. And science could be very ugly if we're ugly. So this holistic form of education is, along with the tools to discover and accomplish great things in this world, we should also educate ourselves in how we could actually make those interconnections and share them and live with character, live with values, live with gratitude, live with humility. Humility doesn't make us cowards. Humility means we're recognizing that there's a higher power beyond my own that I humble myself and harmonize myself for. And that could make us very, very enthusiastic, determined, and courageous, fearless. But not in a mood to exploit, in a mood to serve. There's three principles that are very core to the Indian spiritual traditions, especially from the Gita. One is satsang. Satsang means whatever we're doing in life, we should regularly be in the company of people who really inspire us and enlighten us toward the importance of spirituality and character, so we don't get distracted. Because actually, in this world, we are always being bombarded by weapons of mass distraction. So many distractions. And if we have a strong spiritual foundation, then even when the storms come, our integrity is preserved. So satsang is important. Being regularly in that company of people that really do inspire us and educate us in these higher values. And the second is sadhana, our own spiritual practice. To give some time every day, as far as possible, to actually make that inner connection. You see, when you water the root of a tree, the water naturally extends to every part of the tree. The branches, the twigs, the flowers, and the leaves. So similarly, when we make that connection to God within ourselves, in our own essence, then we find in that love, it extends to everyone, wherever there's life. That comes through sadhana, or spiritual practice. Tuning in to the grace that is within us. And of course, it's important that we tune in regularly, because otherwise there's so many other frequencies that can capture our attention. And meditation, kirtan, the core of yoga practice is really tuning in like that. And the third principle is sadachara. That means living with character, living with compassionate values, seva. That means embracing within our heart that there is no greater thing in all of creation than the opportunity to serve with love. That is character in its deepest sense. And when we make those connections in whatever religion we're in, or whatever social position we may be in, then the science and the technologies we learn can be instruments. Just like our own body and mind could be beautiful instruments to heal in a spirit of compassion.